Hello everyone, in this video we will be discussing about schema. So schema of the database is simply means the logical representation of the database. Logical representation means how the database is going to be organized, what are the different tables it will consist, and what are the relationships between the tables. So these type of things the schema will define. So you can say that schema is a logical representation or overall design, or you can say that the skeleton structure of the database. So schema is a logical representation or overall design or skeleton structure of the entire database. So it will define how the data is going to be organized in the database, how the data is organized and how the relations among them are associated. So it will also give you the idea about what are the different tables will present in the database and what type of attributes it will contain. For example, if we talk about a student table, okay, just suppose there is a student table. So there will be some attributes, or you can say that columns that are associated with the student table. So student, and if we create a table, then what are the different attributes that can be associated with the student? It can be the ID, or you can say that the roll number or registration ID, name, age. There can be class also, in which class the student is studying. Okay. And let's suppose date of birth. So these 5, ID, name, age, class and date of birth, these 5 are the attributes. Okay. These are the attributes of the student table. Okay. This is the table name. So there will be a student table and this is the attributes of the students. Now suppose there is also another table called course. Now course attributes can be course ID, okay, course name, it can be course name, duration means how long the course will take to complete, like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. These kind of attributes are of the course table. Now there will be some relationship between the student and the course. And what is the relationship? Student will study a course. Okay, suppose there is a student and he is studying the course, so like suppose data analytics or data science. So that is the course and he is studying. So studying will be the relationship between the student and the course. So that is something the schema will represent. It will represent there is a student table, his attributes, its tables attributes are these. There is a course table in the database and its attribute are this, and these are connected with a relationship that is studying relationship. So that is something the schema will represent. It also formulates the constraints that will be applied on the data, on the table. So all the constraints, it will also give you the idea about the constraints that are applied on the table. So overall, schema of the database will give you the idea how the database is created, how the database will going to be implemented, what are the tables and what are the relationships and attributes are going to be created in the database. Database schema are represented by the visual diagram. We will also study about the entity relationships models, okay, ER model, that will also help us to create the entity relationship diagrams. This schema is designed by the database designers. So there will be database designer, database designers, who will design the schema of the database. Schema of the database. So database designers are the one who are responsible for creating the schema of the database, so that they can help the programmers who are going to create a software application or any kind of application that will interact with the database. So when they are creating any applications that will interact with the database, so if they have the idea about how the table and the relationships are associated in the database, then they can provide them in the applications also. So they have to do coding and all the stuff, so that if they have the knowledge of, if they have the information about what are the tables and what are the attributes present in the tables, then they, like, it will help in creating the code useful. And the process of database creation is called the data modeling. So a schema contains objects like tables, their columns, or you can say that attributes, the data type of the attributes that are stored in the table, how they are stored, for example, stored procedure, relationship, and some of the information about the keys, like what are primary keys, what attribute is foreign key in the table, what attribute is like primary key and the candidate key. These type of, if like this type of information is given by the schema diagram. Now, what are the different keys, for example, primary key, foreign key, and other keys, we will discuss in the further videos. So I hope you understand the schema well. So let's discuss about what are the different types of schema. If we talk about the types of schema, then there are three types of database schema. First one is the logical schema. Second, physical schema. And the third one is view schema. You can like also say these three types as the level of abstraction or the types of data abstraction. You can also say logical level, physical level, and the view level. So let's discuss all of them one by one. So first we will start with the physical schema. Physical schema, or you can say that internal schema, internal schema, or internal level. So it is the lowest level of data abstraction, and it defines the physical storage structure of the database. So physical schema defines the physical storage of the database. Physical storage of the database. So it gives the idea about how the data will be stored in a secondary storage in forms like files, indices, etc. So it gives you the idea about all the information about the actual representation of the entire database that is stored in a secondary storage. It never deals with the physical devices. Instead, internal schema views a physical device as a collection of physical pages. Let's discuss about the logical schema. Logical schema, you can say logical schema as conceptual, conceptual schema. So conceptual schema describes the design of a database at the conceptual level. So conceptual level is also known as the logical level. So logical schema, logical level, and conceptual schema, conceptual level. Okay. So it describes the structure of the whole database. It will describe what data to be stored in the database, and also will describes the relationship among the data. What data are going to be stored, what will be the relationships between the data. These type of information will be described by the logical schema. So it describes what data to be stored in the database, and what relationship exists among them. So it describes the overall structure of the database. Structure of database. It will hide the information about the physical storage. So the information given by the physical schema, logical schema will hide those information and will focus only on the data types, entities, relationships, etc. So it hides information given by the physical schema. So as it is hiding some information, so that's why it will come in the levels of the data abstraction. One level will hide the information about the other level. So in this level or schema, the information is given of the entities, its attributes, relationships, etc. Now the last one is the view schema. View schema is also known as the external schema that describes the information at the external level or the view level. At this level, the database will contain several schemas, and that several schemas will be called as a sub-schema. So at this level, database contains several schema called subschema. And subschema is used to describe the different view of the database. So each subschema will describe the database part that a particular user group will be interested in, and it will hide all the remaining informations that are not interested by the if a user is not interested in some information, that will be hidden by this schema. So it will define how the data will be shown to the user, to different user. The schema will based on the interest of the different users. So it will describe how the end users will interact with the database systems. So there may be n number of sub-schemas for each database. So for the specific view by the user, there will be different schema. So there may be n number of sub-schemas depending on the user's interest. So it describes the part of the database which specific user interested in. So this might be confusing, like different users will see different parts of the database. So let's understand this via example. Suppose there is a university. Now in the university database, there will be different kinds of tables for the students, fees, for the students information, for the teacher information, faculty information, for the faculty salary details, and some course details, some subjects details. These type of different kinds of table present in the database. Now there will be different view for the student, there will be different view for the teachers, there will be different view for the dean, or you can say that principal. So suppose there will be an examination going on in the university. Now whenever the student will see the home page where the marks should be, it should be uploaded on the home page, but there it is written coming soon or something like that. But that database is accessing by the faculties to enter the marks in the table. So there will be different view. Student can only see the exam dates and the information about the examination, but teachers can see the marks details also. Students can see their information, course information, examination information, fee structure, but a teacher can see its salary details, the marks of the students, and the different kinds of things that students are performing. So there will be different views of the database that is specific to the students, and some part of the database is specific to the teachers. Suppose in the company also, in a business, in a company, there are employees data also. Employees data can be seen by all the employees. So that is one part, or one view of the database. And there will be a CEO or finance department that can see the salary details of the employees, or how many leaves, how many LOPs are there. So these kind of information will only be accessed by the financial department. So that is how the different views of the database is designed at the external level or the view level, and that design is called as the view schema, that how the user will going to see its details. So that's all for the schema and the types of schema. In the next lecture, in the next video, we will see the 3-level schema of the database, or you can say 3 schema architecture, that we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.